Game 4 in New Orleans. But the right hamstring strain is believed to be mild, and he isn't being ruled out of this opening round series against the Pelicans, depending on how long it goes. You can go to sleep by halftime. Suns are going to just, it's a late, you don't have to stay up as late for this one, Monica.
You're not supposed to say that.
You keep it on, but you fall asleep to it because you can drift in and out starting in the third quarter. Well, the Pelicans social media team wasted no time trolling me after they tied up their series with the Suns, not dropping one, not two, but 3 sleeping emojis. Oh, the nerve. Congratulations, Pelicans, on the win. That was a tremendous job getting Devin Booker's hamstring. I mean, come on. They weren't going to win that game if Booker stays in. Are they going to win that game if Booker stays in?
They were losing. They were losing when he went out. When you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
Damn it. I drifted off right before the half. They were up 6 or 8 points. And I woke up to this mess. All right, JJ is back, obviously. Let's get some more max facts for tonight's matchups in the Eastern playoffs. All right, starting with the main event, Nets and Celtics. Here's a max fact, okay? We're going to put it on the screen, or I just say KD is going to be the best player on the court. He will be the best player in the game, better than Kyrie, and importantly, better than Jason Tatum. Nets win because of that, JJ.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Okay, very good. The Bulls will try to avoid going down 0-2 to the defending champs tonight. Here's a max fact. You can go to sleep by halftime. I did it again. That's right, I'm not backing down. Bulls are going to get rolled. Come on, JJ, fact or fiction?
You can go to sleep by halftime because if game 1 is any indication, this is going to be a boring series.
Right. Okay, so by the way, if Giannis gets hurt, knock wood, that doesn't happen. It doesn't count, okay? Can I be very... All right, finally, the Sixers are in Toronto trying to take a 3-0 lead in their series tonight. Here's a max fact. Tyrese Maxey leads all scorers. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to go fiction on this.
Okay.
The adjustment the Raptors have to make, they're loading up to Joel and James Harden way too much. It's allowing Maxey so many driving lanes, open shots. Let's let them beat us. Let them beat us.
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah, let Embiid and Harden beat us. Let's make sure Maxey doesn't beat us. It's not going to happen, even if it happens for a little while. Maxey is the goods. Is he the goods or not?
He's the goods. He's the real deal.
JJ Redick, this just in. See you tomorrow.
Welcome to NBA Today, presented by PNC Bank.
Now?
Coming up on NBA Today, all eyes on Devin Booker's hamstring. We've got the latest and our panel on whether the Suns should be concerned or not. Plus, it's tonight. We've got the Celtics and the Nets Game 2. Perk and Richard, they team up to break down the keys to that one. Who's got the edge? And Jimmy Buckets. He lived up to his name last night, dropping 45 on the Hawks. Is Miami clearly the team to beat in the East? All that and more. NBA Today starts right now. Welcome to NBA Today, presented by PNC Bank. I'm Malika Andrews here with Ramona Shelburne.
Hey.
Yes, we did.
We got a new sponsor?
We got a new sponsor, and we have the dynamic duo over here, Kendrick Perkins and Richard Jefferson. Who's Batman? Who's Robin?
Definitely Robin.
Robin. I think that's Batman. All right, we do need to start, though, with some breaking news on Devin Booker's injury. So we're joined now by senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, what's the latest on Booker's hamstring?
MRI results came back today, Malika. A mild right hamstring strain, and I'm told that Devin Booker is likely out in both games 3 and 4 in New Orleans. Now, I'm told he is not ruled out of this series yet, but a timeline, it's really going to depend on how the rehab goes, all of those factors that go into, such a tricky injury, that Devin Booker is familiar with both this season, last year in the finals, really over the last couple of years. He's dealt with hamstring injuries, but this one has been termed mild. And the expectation right now is at least out games 3 and 4 in New Orleans. And listen, this is a real test now for Phoenix.
Yeah.
Headed back there 1-1, and they're going to have to at least get back to Phoenix here with the hope of getting Devin Booker back here in the next several days.
Well, the silver lining, if you want to look at it that way, is mild, but missing games 3 and 4. That is a big blow to this Phoenix Suns team. Adrian Wojnarowski, thank you so much. Please stay close in case we get any further updates here. All right, so we have a lot to unpack here with Devin Booker. Oof. Out at least games 3 and 4, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. You put your head in your hands when you heard that, Richard. What was going through your mind?
Well, for me, one, when you watch the replay, like he knew right away.
Yeah.
Like he went up and he just stopped. Then he looked at the bench and kind of like waved.
Yep.
And so for me, that meant like he knew right away what he did. And we've been in the finals. We understand. You have to be playing at 100% like this at all times, and especially as one of the best players in this league. So if all of a sudden you feel like even if you're out on the floor and you're able to go and you can only give 70%, we've seen Chris Paul go down and affect the playoffs. We've seen James Harden go down and affect the postseason. These hamstrings are nothing to play with. So I'm not worried about the Suns. I still believe the Suns can win this series, but when we're talking about long-term, can Booker go 100%? That's in question.
Oh, I'm worried. I'm worried, and I think all the Suns fans should be worried. Look, when you look at Devin Booker and you look at this New Orleans Pelican team, they're not your typical 8 seed. Like, we talk about the Brooklyn Nets, and yes, we could look at their record and say, oh, they was 14 games below 500, but that's not the case on how they was playing towards the end of the season. And so Devin Booker has to cancel out who? Brandon Ingram. And I feel like right now with Devin,
wild last night.
and he's going to continue to go wild. When I look at Brandon Ingram, I'm looking at a guy that that looks like a baby Kevin Durant. When I watched him last night, being able to get to his spots, elevate over defense. I love Mikal Bridges, but he really can't stop him. He only can stop himself. And then I looked at his leadership. I looked at everything else for as him distributing the ball, going in there and getting rebounds in traffic, doing those type of things. Right now, with Devin Booker being out, Brandon Ingram is the best player in this series, meaning that, to me, it should give the New Orleans.
Sorry, best player in this series? You're Chris Paul not the best player in this series?
No, Brandon Ingram is the best
I'm just making sure.
player in this series, okay? He's the best player in this series.
Well, that's what Larry Nance, in our friend Andrew Lopez's story, literally wrote that Larry Nance, before every game, looks at Brandon Ingram and says, you are the best player on the floor. Go out and act like it. But we also know, Woj mentioned that Devin Booker has a history with hamstring injuries, both that have kept him off the floor, Ramona, and he played through one. He later revealed he kept it a secret at the time in the finals last year. What are you hearing on this front?
You know, I was covering that Lakers-Suns series last year, and I remember it was about the same period when Chris Paul had that shoulder injury. And remember, Monty Williams had to take him out of the game because he just couldn't even move. And we all thought, man, the Suns are done. Suns are done. Poor Chris Paul, poor Suns. They got through that. They got through that injury. They got through the Chris Paul getting COVID last year in the playoffs. And I think that when you look back on that Phoenix, everybody wants to paint that season as, oh, everybody else got hurt. Oh, the Lakers lost Anthony Davis. Phoenix had some adversity last year, too. And they have had adversity all of this year, too. Devin Booker missed time this year. Chris Paul missed time. And so they have had to rally and play without one of their best guys. I'm more concerned about in the future because, as you say, this doesn't go away. Like, the hamstring can get better, but that burst that he needs to get by people, you're going to be thinking about if they are lucky enough to advance. It's still going to be in the back of your mind when you try to burst past people.
And this is my biggest issue long term for them. So that means now Chris Paul has to play more minutes, more meaningful minutes, has to handle the ball more, has to do more facilitating. Now, hey, Cam Johnson, this is part of the reason why you put in all that work. Now you can run pick and rolls, campaign. These guys are going to be called upon. My biggest issue is that Chris Paul, who, you know, has a history of injuries in the postseason, is now going to be asked to do more at 37 years old instead of being able to, like, kind of sit back, let the young guys do it, and then pick his spots. There is no more picking your spots for Chris Paul. He's got to go all out.
Well, so where do the Suns go from here, Big Perk? Who are you looking at?
You know what? I'm looking at DeAndre Ayton. By the way, where in the hell is DeAndre Ayton? I'm starting to get those final vibes from him, the way that Jonas Valanciunas has been dominating.
He played well in game one.
But well is not going to be good enough right now. He wants the big money. This is his time to get the lettuce, to show up, because we look at Chris Paul, and we could praise Cam Johnson, we could look at campaign, even Mikal Bridges, but DeAndre Ayton was the #1 pick. DeAndre Ayton has to go out there now. It's time for him to get those 20, 15, and 5 blocks in order for Phoenix to beat this team, which I don't think they will.
Okay.
Wow.
We're not going to go that. We're not going to go. You're not going to disrespect the 602
No,
that.
Richard, we're going there. But first, Big Perk, you were tweeting as usual, so I want to pull up your tweet here, and I need you to explain this to the entire panel, what you were tweeting last night. So let's pull that up if we could. I must say, I'm beyond impressed with Brandon Ingram tonight. I know his stat line, 37, 11, and 9, but it was the other things. This young man is poised and, most importantly, a leader. Real talk. So what were you thinking there, and who are you picking in this series?
Well, I was thinking real talk. That's why I didn't put carry on. Like, this was real talk. When you
we're
look
not
at
carrying on here. We're staying.
No, we're staying here because when you look at Brandon Ingram, and I just said this, he gives me those Kevin Durant vibes with his length, his athleticism, the way he's able to put the ball on the floor, get to his spots, his mid-range jump shot, getting to the hoop, but making guys around him better. We heard Willie Green say this. He said, I didn't call plays at a period of time because I wanted to let Brandon Ingram cook. And that wasn't just because of him scoring the ball. That was him throwing lobs. That was him finding guys on time, on target. So when I'm looking at him and I'm watching his body language, his body language says it all. For a guy it's his first time in the postseason, he didn't get rattled. Like, he was embracing that moment. And then even in his post-game interview, no emotions, just laid back, chill. That's naturally him. But to me, he's ready for this moment. And I just think right now, he's actually the best player in this series without Devin Booker being out. And that's why I got the Pelicans winning this.
Hey, Phoenix,
in how many games?
I got this going 7. I really, you know what? I got it going 7. But I got Brandon Ingram. Like Shaq said last night, he has made a name for himself, and I just think the spirit of this team, along with the pieces that they have, I got the Pelicans upsetting the Suns.
All right, okay. For my people in the 602, don't worry, I got you.
That's hot.
It is Phoenix in 6. I do think that the Pelicans are going to win more games. I do think this, especially without Devin Booker, and you saw that half he was having. You're missing that type of explosion, but the depth of the Phoenix Suns, it has been so important all year long.
You know, I think I'm going to go with the Suns as well. In 7, though, I think look, with no Devin Booker, and they're going on the road now to New Orleans. This is a New Orleans Pelicans team, and I caught them when they played in the play-in game here against the Clippers. And all they were talking about was how much different they were with CJ and Larry Nance after they made those trades. Larry Nance was a guy they've targeted for years, okay? They offered a first-round pick for him last year because they know how well he would fit in that lineup. He's been great for them. They see him as like their Draymond Green who can do everything. So I'm going to say Suns in 7, cautiously out of respect for what they did this year, out of respect. Okay, let's give them a chance.
You don't sound too sure.
Well,
I don't sound so sure. I don't, because the Pelicans are that good.
One important thing to remember, though, as Adrian Wojnarowski reported, Devin Booker right now, they're only looking at games 3 and 4 without him. Obviously, we know hamstring injuries, they linger, but he's not ruled out yet for those game 5, game 6, if it goes to a game 7. All right, I do want to stick with 1 seeds, though, because let's get some buckets like
go,
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy B.